What happened to Slim? He was no cap with the pen. He used to rap like the people his music was for. He was exactly like them. The dude who used to be poor. Why can't he tap into him? Can't use that excuse anymore. He's mad at the wind. He's in a nuclear war with a cloud. He's yelling at it again.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like Eminem from his B-side from Music to be Murdered By.
That's a great guess, Harley.
Thank you.
That's a great and spontaneous guess.
Thank you.
I'm very impressed that you recognise that.
Yeah, well, I have actually listened to that album, believe it or not. But only once. I could only really listen to that one once because I was like, it's just a bit samey, and also nowadays I just feel like he's yelling too often and yelling at clouds maybe.
But that's the question. Is he yelling any more than he ever did?
Yeah, I feel like he used to talk a lot more and have a lot more kind of like conversations and characters within his raps. Whereas now it's like he's just like yelling some stuff all the time, and he does still have random, characters within his raps, but it all just seems like a bit fast and a bit loud, or it seems like maybe he should just go back to like actually telling a story with a beginning, middle, and end, like Kim. And
well, the one where he murders
his wife, and so on. Stan as well, Stan and Kim and all of that. These were some good songs with a beginning, middle, and end. But I feel like nowadays he's just kind of yelling a bit much. And also, like he says, and he does acknowledge it, he's rapping about stuff that you kind of don't really care about. It's not really even important to him anymore.
Well, also, I mean, did you become a victim of your own success, but you also become trapped by your own success. If you stray too far from the formula, people say, "Oh, we want the old thing back."
Yeah.
If you keep doing that thing, they go, "Oh, where's your new stuff, bro? We're sick of it." So it's a bit of a it's a bit of a conundrum for him, but really it's just the issue of being essentially the most famous person in hip hop for the last 20 years. At some point,
I still like him. Still got mad respect.
Mad props to Eminem.
Yeah, and his music did shape me. I'm a rampant homophobe now. It's all thanks to listening to Eminem when I was a teenager.
And you murdered your wife.
And I've murdered my wife. That's why I'm single.
Because she is murdered.
Yeah, but no, I do very much wish him the best, but I didn't really enjoy his latest albums that much, really. I feel like he somewhere along the way, he lost me.
I honestly think it's just like, if you just heard it for the first time, even in one of his new albums for the first time, you're like, whoa, who is this dude?
Yeah.
But you're not hearing it for the first time. You're hearing a good rapper doing these types of things that is no longer unique and original to you.
Because he's done it a million times and I've seen it.
And you've seen it and you've heard it and you've heard the best version of that. It's not going to get better than that version that you heard originally. So you're just like, well, yeah, whatever, man. It is a real weird thing, though. I do wonder about that because well, let's just hope we get successful enough to the point that people were like, oh, fuck, we're bored of you.
Bored of these guys. Yeah,
they're
bored of us and we're not successful.
I know, that's the problem.
That's the problem. It's like when you put out too much samey content where it's just two dickheads talking every week.
Yeah.
And expect people to still be interested. No, shout out to our listeners. Shout out to the Sifty 160. Shout out to Dottie Pie on the live stream. Thank you for swinging by. Yes, thank you very, very much. So, here we are now.
Open this beer.
Yeah.
Need a beer.
Speaking of, rap, hip hop, and so forth, I did just want to say that it's not about who shine the hardest. It's about who hustle the smartest. And it's true. If you're out there wearing your bling around your neck, you got your diamond necklaces and your gold bling around the neck, that doesn't mean you're, that's not that important. That means you put your money in somewhere dumb, somewhere snatchable. But
oh my God, is this a segue into investments and stocks and shares? Is this your stocks and shares pitch?
It actually wasn't, but it totally fits. It totally fits. I mean, why do that, right? When you can just wear shitty, holy clothes, look like shit, but actually secretly be rich. And that's better. I think, personally, than getting all flashy on it for no reason. So yeah, I mean, if you guys would like to invest, stake in Sharesies, hit me up for a referral code. I'll put it in the link in the description.
I gave my hard-earned cash to Harley on that one.
Yeah, not really to me, but you invested in your future.
I invested $75 in my future.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, look, you got to start somewhere. $75, that's somewhere, and you got a wee bit of Tesla in there, I believe.
Yep. Hot tip for everyone. Yeah. Actually, this is a hot tip. This is straight. You heard it here first, guys. Mm-hmm. Invest some money in Apple. See, this is the problem. I think the shares thing is too late.
Yeah.
But you want to invest right now because tomorrow at the time of this live podcast, they're doing a big announcement. They're talking about their new silicon chips, and their new Macs, which are set to take the industry by storm. Yeah. And I guarantee them stocks going to be rising.
Yeah. Well, you might be right in the sense that if they announce something that nobody's expecting, it could make the stock go up. But unfortunately, I've learned a lesson the hard way, which is that all of the stock generally has the future value baked into it already. The stock price already has the future value baked into it already. So, for example, if Apple has announced that they're releasing a new chip this year, that's already in the stock price now. And that's assuming that the stock price, that the chip is good and does this and does that. And then if the chip comes out and sucks, then the price will go down. And if the chip comes out and is exactly what they expect, the price will be the same. And if it comes out and is better and worth more and surprises people and stuff, then the stock will go up.
Well, I think people have there's no doubt this chip is good. There's no doubt this chip is revolutionary.
Did you get some Apple? You buy some Apple?
I'm not sure.
I've got a few $100 worth of Apple.
I ignore the emails from Stake.
Yeah. Don't
really look at them.
No.
So I can't really remember, but I think I may have.
Yeah.
But this is what the whole industry is turning to, this new type of silicon chip. And in fact, there's four major computer makers. There's three really, but now NVIDIA has put their name into the hat with this same silicon-based chip.
Yeah.
They've just said that they're going to start doing stuff, and they're going to start probably developing CPUs and computers. They used to just do graphics cards. In fact, they now currently do graphics cards. But they're saying they're taking this chip and they're riding it to the moon.
I bought NVIDIA as well.
Well, you're good then,
I'm,
mate.
I'm covered both ways.
Yeah, and
no matter who wins, and then I win.
Apple kind of have started it, and they're sort of at the most forefront of it. But AMD have also said they're working on it. So the ones that are left behind at the moment, the one that I would definitely not invest anything into, is Intel.
Okay.
So Intel has essentially been caught with their pants down.
Yeah.
It's like that. They're essentially the taxi service when Uber came along.
Yeah.
So they've been sort of this big giant. They've had this monopoly. They've been kind of considered the best.
Fat and complacent.
While slowly other companies have sort of been catching up to them. And then the last sort of cycle of CPUs, everyone was like, well, actually AMD is now better than Intel.
Yeah.
And then Intel was like, oh shit, well, we're going to release another chip. And it turns out it's still not better than the AMD version. And it's using sort of lesser technology because they haven't been kind of maintaining that upgrade path in the same way. And now and they had no intention of using this new silicon chip, which Apple and everywhere else is doing. And now they can't pivot to that. Or I'm sure they will eventually, but it's going to take years and years.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been...
Meanwhile, they're losing market share.
Exactly.
Hand over fist.
So do not invest in Intel unless you're thinking they're going to bounce back in 10 years.
Yeah.
So the hot tip from the stockbroker, Guy Pigden.
The
broker, the shadow broker.
Make sure you get your financial advice from
the
Guy and Harley podcast.
I was going to say, from the guy who's $14,000 in debt. Make sure you get all your tips from the man who owes $14,000.
Is that your combined debt?
To be honest, it's probably slightly more.
But to be honest, I was like, well, that's way better than I thought.
Let me just think. Yeah. I think it's more. I think it's maybe 16.
Yeah,
it's definitely not more than 16.
Right.
So it's on the way down. That's for sure.
Well, that's good.
It's decreasing.
That's good. Unlike all those bums out there that went and studied at university and now they're tens of thousands of dollars in debt. losers.
I only owe
with
16.
With your paper degree that, you know,
And I
got
teach.
$100,000 debt. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You see, you have become that which you hated most. a teacher.
It's true.
Dottie Pie asked on the live stream about some Bitcoins, if we have Bitcoin. And the answer to that one is I recently got an app called Jack's Liberty. And I got $100 worth of Bitcoin and $100 worth of Ethereum. And I just left it at that. Because I feel like, well, you just can't be putting your money everywhere, right? It's like you're investing on like stock, or you're investing in Bitcoin, or what are you doing? You can't get too diversified. But I do want to get some more Bitcoin because it sounds like that's where people are getting rich.
Yeah.
Not just Bitcoin, but
cryptocurrency.
some of the other cryptos as well. Yeah. Someone was saying recently that their strategy, well, they were like, look, man, imagine if you had $100 worth of Bitcoin from back when Bitcoin was $2, you know, and you've got 50 of them. You know, you're literally a multimillionaire now. So he was like, so why not go out, bang $100 on Dogecoin or Dogecoin or however you say that. Bang $100 on, you know, this other one, $100 on that other one, and they're all $2 each or 16 cents each or whatever. You just get $100 of each, and just hope that one of those, you know, 5 that you choose blows up like Bitcoin or even Ethereum. Ethereum's like $3,000 or something now. So, you know, if you bought it for $2 originally and you sold it for $3,000, that's a pretty good profit. So I was like, well, you know, if you've got a spare $500, why not pick the next 5 best ones, put $100 on it, and then forget about it and see what happens.
Yeah. Look back 10 years
and go, damn.
Yeah, well, I did unintentionally, you know, it sounds like I'm a very learned individual here on the podcast, and I was at a cryptocurrency workshop where they discussed the benefits and how the whole world was changing and how cryptocurrency was something that the banks now have to acknowledge, recognize, become a part of, all that sort of thing. And this would have been in about 2016. You know, it's now 2021, and the whole conversation has changed because that was when, again, like Bitcoin was blowing up, but it wasn't blowing up like it's blown up now.
Yeah.
And also that one of the strangest things about that whole experience is the person that was doing the workshop was, I think, a girl from our high school that I used to have a big crush on. So she was doing this workshop on crypto. So she'd become a finance analyst specialist or something like that.
Well, what was her name? What was her first name at least?
Janine?
Janine. I feel like I remember a Janine.
Janine?
Yeah.
Now, but this is the thing. I was like, it could be her.
Yeah.
But it's been 15 years.
Well, was the host of this event, was her name Janine?
Yeah, I believe her name was Janine Granger, or Janine something else, right? Because maybe
so she got married.
So maybe she got married, right?
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this her?
Yeah.
Is this the girl that I had a crush on for years and that used to torment me and play with my emotions at high school?
Yeah.
And like try and titillate me to just get a rise out of me? Quite literally.
Yeah.
Is this the same girl? Is this her?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like her, but, you know, obviously times have changed.
Yeah.
So, you know, and it's like...
And time is a cruel mistress.
And time is... But no, don't get me wrong. She still looked good.
Yeah.
But I was like, is this her? Like, how could this person that I met... Because this was the other thing. I couldn't reconcile the two things.
Yeah, which is
like,
she's an
expert. This kind of sexy temptress, the sexy punk temptress, and... a financial expert on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I was like, this doesn't match up.
Yeah.
But yet, it must be her. And I was filming the event.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go up to her and go, obviously I'm unrecognizable.
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm unrecognizable from high school. But I kind of wanted to go up and go, hey, did you go to Logan Park High School?
Yeah.
But it just would be really, because if I open that can of worms...
Yeah.
You know, it's not a good can of worms that I'm opening. Because I'm like, yeah, you know, used to like kind of sexually, like, you know, used to say sexually explicit things to me to see if I get a boner. You remember that? You remember trying to
I'm sure you could be civil with her. I mean, overall, it sounds like a reasonably positive schoolyard bullying experience.
Sure,
as far as schoolyard bullying goes,
it wasn't bullying. It was
No.
like teasing.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
teasing.
Some would call it maybe flirting.
Yeah, it was like
Maybe it was clumsy flirting.
It was almost like it was like half flirting, but it's like, no, I'm way out of your league,
Yeah.
and you're like a nerd.
Yeah, but this is fun for me.
That I would never deign to
Yeah.
actually do anything with, but I do like the idea.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you're unattractive.
Mm.
You know, so I'll kind of just muck about with you.
Yeah.
You know, but you're a fucking dork.
Oh, mate,
so.
this could have been your chance. All these
Well,
years
no,
later,
well,
this could have
clearly
been
she
your
was
chance.
married.
Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe if she changed her last name, but maybe.
Also, it's like, look, I'm the grubby cameraman,
Yeah.
and you're a financial expert in cryptocurrency
Yeah.
for Westpac.
Yeah.
Do we really see a future together?
Well, I wonder if she bought a bunch of crypto in 2016, and if she did,
Yeah.
she is a literal millionaire.
Yeah, well, so the mystery, I'll never know if it was really her or not, unless I kind of try and figure out her name, look her up on Facebook, and send her a request that she doesn't delete.
Well, I'm sure she wouldn't.
Delete the request.
Yeah.
Well, I almost got, I feel like I was on the verge of getting, what's the word?
Deleted.
No. When you get people steal money from you? A victim of online fraud,
Yeah,
I
okay.
suppose you'd say. So, you know, someone kind of messaged me, and then they friend requested me, and then they asked some weird questions about this thing I was trying to sell. And then they're like, do you take a certain type of like online transaction for this? And I was like, no. And I did not accept their request.
Yeah.
Because it all seemed very dodgy to me.
Yeah.
And they're also like, you know, oh, maybe I could invest in something. And I was like, oh no, no one would ever suggest investing in anything that I have anything to do with.
Yeah.
So this is really, really crazy.
Yeah.
But it was the first time that I'd interacted with someone who wasn't a porn bot online.
Yeah.
That was like actually probably trying to steal a large sum of money from me.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with crypto? Were they trying to get you to accept payment in crypto or something like that?
Not in crypto,
Right.
just over a sort of an online transfer system that has in the past been linked to scams.
Yeah.
But is also claimed through Reddit that is also legitimate. You know, so it's a legitimate thing, but people perhaps misuse it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's also like, look, mate, this is fucking New Zealand. You just transfer the money into my bank.
Yeah.
That's what you do. There's no fucking, we don't do a fucking transfer fucking online thing. You literally just put the money in my fucking bank. And if you can't do that, then obviously I should be very concerned that you don't have a bank account.
Yeah.
So that was that little side story.
Yeah. Well, it is a very sad episode of Who's Dead this week.
Oh, yeah, it is.
We are, of course, talking about DMX.
Yeah.
Best known as the host of the hit television show Pimp My Ride. Rest his soul. I'll throw it over to you, Guy.
And DMX, we did mention, was fighting for his life recently at the tender age of 50. And he'd been on life support, he'd had a heart attack, maybe he'd had a drug overdose, maybe he'd relapsed, he had been to rehab multiple times. And he was not in a good way. We said we're praying for X, we're praying for Dark Man X, and unfortunately he did not pull through. So they took him off the old life support. So there'll be no more. Where the hood at?
X gonna give it to you. Rest his soul.
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here. So we should have probably picked one of his songs again, but so look,
Well, we can't because of the bloody copyright. we can't use any snippets because we can't put ads on these.
Yeah, it's true. So he was an iconic hip hop artist who kind of had some really good fucking songs, and then maybe lost his. Well, it was the same deal. He's the same as Eminem in some ways, in the sense that he kind of kept doing the same thing, and we were like, we loved it for 4 albums or 3 albums. We're like, this man's a genius. This man's iconic. You know, this man's the greatest hip hop artist alive. And then he did it for 1 more album. We all go, nah, we don't like it anymore. You're done. You're done, mate. We don't care now.
Bored of that.
So you just keep singing those original ones for the next 20 years. We'll appreciate those, but we'll not buy anything relating to anything new that that you put out. But he allegedly,
it's tough out there for an OG.
Yeah, he allegedly did have quite a lot of drug abuse problems. So don't get hooked on drugs.
That's the secret.
Don't become addicted to drugs in your meteoric rise to fame. That if we could give one piece of advice, it would be that. Yeah.
Well, maybe the reason why we haven't had a meteoric rise to fame is because we're not addicted to drugs, though. Do you think about that? Because there's a...
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah. Rich and famous by 45. That's what we always said.
We've rephrased
what we always said.
We've recalibrated.
Rich and famous by 45.
We've recalibrated.
Of course, the original was Rich and famous by 25.
Yeah.
But,
we've overshot.
Rich and famous by 45.
We've overshot the mark there.
And also, of course, Prince Philip, who was an old dead guy from the other side of the world.
99.
Didn't quite get the letter from the Queen.
His husband.
His wife. Yeah, didn't quite get the letter from the Queen. But you know what I like about the fact of these rich people dying?
Yeah.
Is like not so much DMX, but more like Prince Philip, right? Prince Philip only made it to 99. And in my mind, I kind of assume that actually the rich have access to the best healthcare, the best food, the best diagnostic tools, the best everything that you could possibly need to live essentially forever, or at least to extend your life. So I kind of picture that maybe rich people live longer than poor people, and that maybe because they've got access to this technology, and every day their breakfast is being made, and it's the perfect calorie count, because that's what they told the chef to make for them, and all that type of thing. But then when you see people dying at 99, like people like this who have been ridiculously wealthy their entire lives, it makes you go, well, shit, maybe actually there is no secret technology that can make us live any longer. And if average normal people are dying at 99, and this guy only made it to 99.
Well, you say only. That's really old.
Well, yeah, but not by my standards anymore. I'm definitely making a hundy. Guarantee getting a hundy, and also it's within the realms of possibility that we could be 150 with the advances in technology. You're worried about your hips. Don't worry about it, mate. They're going to replace... You're not going to be stuck with these hips for the next 120 years. You're going to get 110 years. You'll be getting some new hips in about 10 years, 20 years. The technology is going to change. And by the time you really need it, when you're around 100, the technology is going to be amazing. 60 years from now. Imagine the technology 60 years ago versus technology now.
There's no internet.
Now, exactly. Now imagine it's 60 years from now, right? And when you're 100 and you need some shit, and they'll be like, yeah, cool. Here's the pill. Here, eat this pill. You'll be 150.
Well, the issue is they can't have people living. There is a problem with people living too long. Yeah,
population control.
Yeah. So unfortunately, this is the ongoing mortality issue. Is as we get older, we're like, shit. Life is not very long. We need longer. And then all young people are like, who cares? We've got ages. And the cycle continues. And then we just swap places. And when I say swap places, we don't swap places. No, we die.
We slip off the mortal coil.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, though. But I kind of thought that, you're right, but that there was this elite rich cabal you know, which
drinking blood of
young virgins.
or wasn't it the Edachrone of kids that they were harvesting? I feel like it was Edachrone.
What's that from?
That's from QAnon conspiracy theory.
Ah, right. Yeah. Okay. So now my science fiction fantasies have merged and have like coincided, or what's the word, interacted with real life QAnon conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Shit. But yeah. So good. That's good that he's dead. Gives me it assures me that there is no secret cabal that knows these.
Thank God. QAnon was wrong.
Yeah, they were wrong.
Prince Philip's death has proved that QAnon's theories are incorrect.
Exactly. Yes.
Dottie Pie asked, "What beers are we drinking?"
Highway IPAs.
Highway IPA Monteiths.
Kiwi brand, Kiwi beer, and they are pretty good. Yep, not bad.
Not a bad drop, as they say.
They're bursting with grapefruit and marmalade notes, but they are not the sponsor of this episode because I had to pay for these beers myself.
Yeah, Harley said, "Have you got any alcohol?" I said, "Nope."
So I had to bring my own. It's fucking bullshit.
And she also says it'll be your head in a glass jar, Futurama style.
Yeah, with a machine body. Yeah. No, I think we'll be uploading our brains long before we'll be having heads on machines.
The singularity.
Yeah, we'll get there. So, it was my birthday the other day, the big 38. This is the birthday special.
The wrong side of 35.
Yeah, we didn't talk about my birthday in the last episode at all, but happy birthday to me. That's already happened now. And nothing exciting to report. I worked in Wellington on my birthday. I did catch up with some dear old friends of ours, but basically I just worked all day and then I flew back to Auckland and then I worked again the following night. But a couple of days later, I did get to go out and have a few beers with my old pal Gaza. And so you and I went out for a few drinks the other night.
Did you go out for a couple of beers with the old pal Nick?
Yep, down in Wellington, yep. Sure did.
How's he doing?
He's good. Our dear old friend Nick. Shout out to Nick. He definitely doesn't listen. But he's there, existing.
I might go and see him.
Yeah, he's a real estate millionaire now because he bought a house before the real estate boom, and now that house has gone up 40% in value.
That's a significant increase because
Yeah.
he only bought it like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah. When I was trying to buy a house 2 years ago, that's when he bought one,
Yep.
and I failed to do so, and now I am not a millionaire.
Now you can't afford to buy one, and he has one, and it's
Yeah.
gone up 40%.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so this is the birthday special. It was quite good having those beers with you the other day. Were you hungover yesterday?
Yep.
Yep.
I was definitely not feeling amazing, but I went to bed really early due to the excessive drinking, and then woke up really early at 3 a.m. And I was like, I kind of can't really get back to sleep because I'd gone to bed at 10 o'clock. And so it wasn't amazing, and then I kind of half went back to sleep for a while, and found myself definitely moderately hungover the next day.
Well, me too. But really there was no exciting stories associated with my birthday. But I did also have an audition. And that was for a commercial. I would have heard today if I'd had a callback. I have not heard anything, so one has to assume that I do not have a callback. I'm not on the short list. But it went all right. I kind of flaffed a couple of lines, which is not so all right. But
what lines did you flaff?
I just kind of forgot a couple of lines, but the funny thing about it was I was meant to be this kind of awkward person on a stage who might forget his lines, and so they're like, if you forget your line or whatever, just say like line to like somebody off camera type thing, and then they'll read it to you, and it's fine. It's all kind of part of it. I had to take them up on that.
What was the line that you forgot?
Well, I mean, I can't be reading out scripts on air, but it was and this pub, and this pub. No, I can't. It's the punchline of the ad. So, but it's and this pub and some other stuff.
Right.
Yeah. But it'd be unprofessional of me to tell Dottie Pie about it. Okay. Dottie Pie, our one viewer, and the 160 listeners at home.
Well, I feel like you've been getting quite a lot of callbacks recently.
I was also I got a call the other day as well asking me if I was available for Shortland Street. Again, another one. To which I replied, of course I'm available. Yes, I am.
And to which they did not reply.
To which they finally replied, "Listen, Harvey, this is Shortland Street, not Short Bold Street. Now get the fuck out of my office."
That joke will live in infamy.
And so I didn't get that role either.
Isn't it weird, though? They're like, are you available? And if your answer is yes,
Yeah.
it should be like, sweet, we'll see you on Monday.
Exactly, yeah.
It shouldn't be like, are you available? Well, cool, we're just asking.
Yeah.
Well, why the fuck did you get my hopes up for?
Yeah. Well, look, you're kind of right. But actually, I think what it is they pick like 3 people. And they go like, all right, here's our number 1, here's our number 2, here's our number 3. Let's see if they're all available. And they go, oh shit, number 1's not available. Well, number 2's not available. Oh, well, it's all right because number 3's available.
But it's all right because Harley's available.
Yeah, right, because
Harley said he was available.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, what would happen is they go, all right, let's check if this small group of 3 are available, and then go with our first pick first, which obviously ain't me. For the last 3 times, for the last 3 roles, I have not been first in line.
It is interesting though, but I do think it is very encouraging because, like I said, like I always say, it means you're in the conversation, right? You're in the conversation, which means that essentially, yeah, they like you, they really like you, and they have plans, and they could see you fitting into those plans, whether this is an ad, TV show, whatever, and you're on the cusp, right? You're just on the cusp. And then for whatever reason, they're like, oh, no, we'll just go with someone else. But it's not anything that you did or did not do. You're in the conversation. And eventually, if you're in the conversation long enough, you become the sentence.
Nice. I can see you scrabbling for that. I can really see you
there's no real way
analogy.
There's no real way to finish that off.
No, you become the sentence.
You become the sentence.
Yeah.
So, you become the main sentence.
Yeah, the title.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
So I feel like it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're right, and I think you're right. And every day I'm hustling, and so I'm hustling at the moment, and now I've agreed to act in somebody's spec commercial. And spec commercial, spec project obviously means that you don't get paid. Nope. It's really just working for the sake of working, and hoping that something comes of it. And so that's what I've agreed to do. I'm acting in somebody's little commercial, a little set of 3 commercials. But it's a nice wee script, and it's a nice enough wee role for me, and it's not. It's very similar to what I've done in the past, so I know that I can do it. And then it's also got a language aspect, in that I have to learn some Mandarin, which is obviously good for my acting career, to be able to have a few shots of me like saying some stuff in Mandarin. That's obviously going to be helpful, especially if I want to break into the Chinese market, particularly given that they're going to be our communist overlords soon. So it can't hurt to start learning Mandarin now, is all I'm saying.
It's true.
And so I'm doing a wee commercial. But of course, the thing is that it's all fun and games. You say yes. They go, hey, do you want to do this thing? And you go, yeah, sure, all right, let's do this thing. And then they're like, cool, well, I'll see you on Monday. And then you're like, fuck, now I have to go there on Monday. And I got to actually show up. And I got to put in a bunch of work and a bunch of effort and figure this all out and, do the rehearsals and spend 2 days filming and say no to work on other days and all these things.
Yeah, it is a bit of an effort.
But that's the hustle, I guess. It's the actor hustle.
Yeah, it is the actor hustle. But yeah, look, it's interesting because I do really feel like you could corner the market there.
Yeah.
Just learn a few phrases.
Yeah, I can be the guy that, they cast in Chinese ads and so on as like the white guy.
The ignorant white guy.
The ignorant white guy. I could play that. Dottie Pine on the live stream asks if we've had any bad roles that we've auditioned for, even though we didn't want them. And the answer is yes, definitely. There's been quite a few where you're relieved. Normally the agent calls or emails and says, hey, you didn't get the role, and normally you're like, oh no, boo-hoo. But sometimes you're like, oh, fucking thank God.
Yeah, no.
I didn't want that shit.
Well,
I just showed up so that I'd be reliable in that, you want your agent to know that you're a person who says yes, and they'll put you forward for more stuff. So if they put you forward for an ad and then you say no to it, then just because you don't want to do it, then they'll remember that,
Well, I remember specifically an audition that I had, and I think it was for a South Pacific Pictures audition. And South Pacific Pictures are like the biggest, like they have a somewhat monopoly-like grip on the television industry here. And in the sense that a lot of things are produced and created through them.
Well, they produce some of the biggest and most successful New Zealand TV shows.
They are the most successful.
Including, well, I mean, like...
I can't deny that.
A West Side Story and Outrageous Fortune and Shortland Street are all...
South Pacific Pictures.
These are iconic New Zealand TV shows.
But are they good, Harley?
Well, I don't really like television.
Well,
as a whole.
You like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You like Breaking Bad.
Yeah, but I feel like it's really unfair
Those are outliers.
to compare Game of Thrones
you like
to
Flight of the
Shortland
Conchords.
Street. Yeah, I didn't mind Flight of the Conchords. That was pretty good. It's pretty good.
But yes, I am referring to a couple of outliers there.
Yeah.
But I guess, so for me, that audition was, I remember it very well because I think, well, I don't actually remember it that well. I remember it vaguely, but I believe I was a police officer and I was like asking, I was questioning someone or doing some like digging for dirt on someone or something like that. And I remember the dialogue being so god awful that I just could not remember it. Like no matter how, because I spent a considerable amount of time rehearsing and preparing. And every time I'd keep saying the lines the wrong way round, and I'd keep getting things mixed up. And I was like, why? And I was like, oh, it's because this is shit. That's why. It's because it's fucking terrible when no one talks like this. And so my mouth doesn't want to talk like a fucking alien because I'm not one. And so I was just really struggling, and I was struggling all the way up until the audition. And then I had the audition, and I forgot my lines.
Yeah.
I
hate it when that happens.
I got sort of halfway through. I said like the first couple, fine. And then I was like, what was that line sort of thing, you know? And the casting agent was like, oh, you don't know your lines. And I was like, I know them. I just, and I just started stuttering and stumbling and fucking sweating and being like, no, I do know, because I did know them.
Yeah.
But I just could not say them.
Yeah.
And I couldn't turn around to her and go, well, look, this dialogue is just so fucking bad. I keep tripping over it because it's fucking horrible. Obviously, that's not going to go down well.
No.
So essentially, I just started and stumbled and kind of pulled out my script from my back pocket.
Yeah.
And she was, but you know, you could see like the black X going over.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know your lines.
Yeah.
Shh. And I was like, no, I know them. I know lines. I've got them. Just let me check this. And so I obviously got through that audition, and lo and behold, never had another audition with that casting agent.
See?
The black X.
Yeah. That's the problem, right?
Looms large.
It's fucking stressful with this acting, because you go, oh yeah, you've got an audition on Tuesday, you got an audition fucking tomorrow, and you're like, cool mate, that's sounds like it's not a big deal and I should just say yes and do it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you show up, and if you do a shit job and forget your lines, you get the big black X.
And also, on the other hand, it's 5 pages of bad dialogue I have to remember from now until then.
Yeah.
And I'm currently midway through a 10-hour shift.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like there is definitely extenuating circumstances that would like sort of give you reason not to remember lines. Also, because, you know, sometimes, and don't get me wrong, I've been on the other side of the casting couch. I've been the director in the room. And I've seen people kind of start fucking, or not even just pulling out the script that they have not remembered. And I'm like, oh, well, fucking good luck, mate.
Like, big black cross.
This X coming for you, mate. Because X gonna give it to you.
Yeah.
Right? Because how are you gonna actually act this if you're literally like this with a script going,
yeah,
you know, just reading.
But that's how the Americans do it, apparently.
Yeah, and to be fair, like with more experience, I've actually seen people do that quite well.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like then you want to go, great, that was quite good. Can you go away and actually learn it now? And we can do this audition for real? Because I'm encouraged by these results, but I still have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've been on the other side of it, and that's the other thing, because to my mind, I'm always like, well, they've had a long time to prepare, right? But you don't actually know when they got that audition. You don't know when the agent, like you gave it to their agent a long time ago.
Yeah.
But they might have been like, should we give it to Richard? Oh, I don't think he's right for it. But if he hears about this, he's going to complain that he wasn't put. All right, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Richard, mate, do you want to do an audition in 2 hours? And he's like, well, I would have. Yeah, of course, but 2 hours is a bit short notice. And then Richard comes in holding up the script like this, going, oh, sorry, I haven't had time to memorize it. And I'm like, fucking Black X you. You're fucking out, mate.
Well, not to mention, you know, what could be happening in that person's life in terms of their work and all that type of thing as well. They might have got the script yesterday, but like you say, they're halfway through a 10-hour shift.
Yeah.
You know, and then they've got to get up in the morning. And they've got to get up in the morning, and they've got a couple of hours to figure out the lines and then get to the audition at 9 a.m. or something like that, you know? So yeah, maybe we should do it the American way. Maybe I'm gonna make a call. New Zealand, from now on,
you're gonna start reading your scripts.
I'm just gonna show up with my script. I'm just gonna read it. I'm just gonna be like, yep.
Yeah.
I won't forget my lines that way, will I?
Well, no.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was specifically the one that I remembered just really, really going downhill. But see, the funny thing is, if she'd just gone, oh, it's all right, just give yourself a little minute and go again, I would have been sweet. But because she goes, whoa.
Yeah.
You didn't learn your lines.
Yeah. You're not even hard.
That was instantly the time where I just shit my pants on the
Yeah.
spot, and I was like, oh, I'm done. My brain has exploded now because I'm so nervous, and you've just piled that on. So
yeah, it's performance anxiety.
100%.
That's what it is. It's like,
can't do it now.
So you see,
you've just pointed to it. I can't do it now.
You see, ladies,
you've just looked at it. I can't do it now.
This is the lesson we want.
You've just called it out.
Low pressure.
I can't do it now.
If someone's struggling, just make it a low pressure situation. Don't heap on the expectations.
Don't pile on. All right.
All right.
Just go. It's all right. Just give yourself a couple minutes.
We'll just try again a little bit later.
Just give yourself a couple minutes.
No big deal.
No worries.
No big deal.
Oh, you don't know your lines.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can't even get it up.
Oh. Okay. Well, I've learned something here.
My one that is not really as exciting as yours, but there was I said that I didn't want to be put forward for McDonald's ads, but then what happened was one of the casting agents specifically requested to see me specifically for a McDonald's ad. So, and they didn't know. So normally what happens is the casting agent has a job, asks the acting agents to put forward their actors, and then the casting, well, actually, they don't like to be called casting agents in New Zealand. Casting director. So the casting director has a job.
Stupid.
They have a job, and they announce it. They ask the casting agents the acting agents to send in their actors.
Send in the clowns.
Yeah, and then they'll pick some and do the auditions. But this was backwards because they actually specifically said, hey, can we see Harley for this role? And so my agent called me and was like, look, I know you said no McDonald's, but they're asking for you. And I was like, well, shit, they're asking for me. And it was one that I didn't have an existing, good relationship with. You know, so I was like, well, mate, maybe I should, say yes to this just to establish the relationship. And it was only a 3-month ad that was only going to be on for a little while. And it wasn't for their beef burger, which would be like the worst thing. It was for their McFish, right? So of all the harm in the world, the McFish burger is probably the Filet-O-Fish burger is probably still pretty bad, but it's not as bad as the burgers. The cows and the burgers and stuff. So I was like, all right,
fish is better. It's better to harvest all the fish from the sea.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's better to harvest the fish from the sea than it is to chop down all the trees in order to plant grain, in order to chop down some more trees, in order to have cows eating grass and out on the fields, and then use that grain to feed the cows. You're chopping down entire forests to, feed these cows, and then they're sitting there farting and burping all day, methane into the air. And then, there's all the transport costs and all the rest of it. Anyway, the point is that it wasn't that bad an ad. It was only 3 months. It was a small role. It was for a fish product, not the beef product. So I was like, oh, could I? Maybe
Well,
I
have
could
you
do
seen
it.
Seaspiracy yet?
No, I haven't seen Seaspiracy yet, but I probably should check it out. It's just that I already know the world's fucked. I don't need to watch it. You know what I mean? Like, I know how horrible it is. I get it. I've seen a bunch of these docos about how fucked the world is, and I just don't want to be depressed, and it's like,
you need to send yourself into a tailspin.
Yeah, I'm already like not really. I already eat reasonably conscientiously and so on, and try to vote. I vote green and all of these types of things.
When was the last time you had some McDonald's?
Oh, like a few days ago. Nah, that was like I did have some McDonald's like a week or maybe a week and a half ago or something like that.
A Mickey D's slip up. We call that a mixed slip up here in the conscientious eating world. Yeah,
the conscientious consumer community. We call that a mixed slip
up.
Yeah,
we all have them. We all have them from time to time.
Yeah, although there is obviously
slip.
There's a big difference between me eating a burger and me telling 10,000 people to go and buy burgers.
Eat burgers.
Yeah, exactly. There's a whole other thing.
So you were specifically asked.
So I was specifically asked to go audition. So I was like, all right, okay, look, I'm gonna go to the audition. I can still say no. I can still say no if I want to. I'm just gonna go to see what happens at the audition. If you
just
don't
gonna
mind me, I'm
audition.
just gonna have a look and just see what happens. Why not? Why not take it? And so I went there. I did the audition. It went really well, and I was like, fuck. Because that's the other thing too. I didn't pay that great, but it was still like $4,000 or something for a day. It was like $3,000 or $4,000 for a day, and I was like, "Fuck," So I went along. I got onto the short list and got a call back, and I was like, "Fuck." And then so basically it was down to me and just a few other people for this McDonald's ad, and I had to decide. Well, obviously I had this decision like that I was actually going to have to make maybe, and then they made it for me. I did not get the role, and I was like, fucking sweet. That was actually my dream scenario because here was my logic. Before I said yes to the first audition, here was my logic. I said, all right, Harley, here's what's going to happen then, right? They want to see you, so you don't want to let them down. So here's what could happen. You go along to the audition, you do your best, you impress them. You get a callback. They've got to pay you $50 for that callback. That's the way it works here in New Zealand. If you get a callback, they pay you $50 to show up the second time.
Yep.
And then I don't get the ad. But I've still shown to my agent that I'm shortlist worthy. I've shown to that casting director that I'm like a good actor and might be right for the next role. I haven't just said no, which is what I, kind of should have done or whatever, And so I get the best of all the worlds, right? I impress everybody. I still get on the shortlist. I get $50 and I don't have to be in a McDonald's ad. And that's what happened.
So it all worked out in the end.
It was a resounding success in terms of like that was kind of my plan or what I was aiming for. But it was a relief when I didn't get it. Anyway, to answer your question, Dottie Pie.
I would be the perfect guy to be cast in West Side, given my look.
You would be, yep. Shame it's all finished now. They're all wrapped up on that one forever. They're not doing that again, so you missed that boat.
You missed the only boat that is appropriate to the way that you look.
Maybe because you don't have an agent.
I mean, that's definitely holding me back.
It's holding you back.
That's holding me back from auditions currently.
Yeah.
is the fact that I don't have an agent.
Yeah. And you really should, because this audition that I just had the other day, 15 Gs if I get it for the day. And I spoke to the casting director, and they thought it could actually be a lot more than 15 Gs if they add in a bunch of things which they were thinking of doing. So, he said it could be up to $45,000.
Well, I don't need to audition anymore because I'm a YouTube star now.
True.
So my YouTube channel, just to give you a little update. I'm just spitting off the top of my head here. Not 100% sure any of it's true. But I've just got just under 400 subscribers now. And I've got, I've got 17,000 views.
Yep.
But I haven't, I think I'm basically in both subscribers and watch hours, just over a third.
Yeah.
Or maybe about a third of the way to monetization.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good in just over a month.
It's very good.
But I did also have my first big flop of a YouTube release.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I released a new video, which took me as long as any of the other videos that took fucking ages to do. And this one was basically, I tried to switch tacks a little bit. I reviewed something unrelated to the camera that I normally talk about. Did not go down well.
No.
Did not go well at all.
Yeah.
So,
well, what was the new product?
So it was a wireless microphone system.
Yeah.
And I was just talking about whether it's good, comparing it to the old version of that, and lots of good stuff in there, lots of good info. But people did not give a shit. Even my funny thumbnail failed to gain any traction. And what I learned from that was that, you can be flying high and you can have your knees cut out from underneath you at any time, because YouTube is fickle. And if you're not delivering exactly what they want, that's it.
Well, the good thing, though, is that next time you do another thing which is closer to what they want or whatever, and as it continues and as it builds and as your subscribers grow, some of them will go back and follow you on your old on your other uploads, and so it might just be that is a burn later on. It doesn't, it's a slow burn now. But
I flew too close to the sun.
Yeah.
I should have stuck in my lane.
Yeah.
I tried to deviate too early.
Yeah.
And I got burned.
Yeah.
So I am scheduled to do another. I am definitely getting a bit behind on my updates now, which is exactly what I thought may happen. But we'll have to do one of those in the not too distant future. But one of the reasons that I'm not doing those is we're trying to Dottie Pie. It's the Savage Filmmaker is the name of the channel, the Savage Filmmaker. You can check that out.
We'll post the link in the description as well for the listeners at home, so you guys can all go along and subscribe, and we'll share it on the Facebook page, facebook.com/GuyAndHarley. So the Savage Filmmaker on YouTube, but we'll share it in the other places too.
But part of the reason I've been a little bit busy, I've been marking, I've been doing real world stuff, unfortunately. But also I've just been trying to, we've got 2 films in post-production, Stay at Home and Glimpses. Glimpses of the documentary on my uncle about MSA, multiple system atrophy, which we've talked about a little bit here on the podcast before. But it's about his sort of struggles with that disease and the last few weeks, as it turned out, of his life. So we're trying to get that finished. And we've just had some additional funding come through from a mysterious benefactor.
A benevolent denizen of the
an angel investor
world
is what they call them, angel investors. And so he's come through to sort of help support us. So we're going to be trying to wrap that up. And I've also just sent it to so my uncle, Gregory Wilsden, his wife, Kate. So I just sent it through to Kate. And I was obviously quite nervous about doing that because it's about her life. It's about a very sad part of her life. It's about something that, she's dealing with the ramifications and effects of, daily. And it's, it's a tough watch because it's going to take her back to that whole period of time, which was, I'm sure, the worst period of time in her life. And so, I wasn't exactly sure how she was going to feel about it and how that was going to, and I just, I know, like, it's hard for me to watch that. And I'm many degrees removed away from that. And I also showed my mum, and it was the same sort of thing where I'm just worried because I know that if I can't watch it and get upset, they can't watch it and not be far more upset and impacted by it. So I did send it to her, but she seemed to be very happy with how it turned out. So she watched it, and she sort of let me know, and she thought that I'd done justice to him, which is obviously the most important thing. So, which means that also it can sort of go ahead and get finished up now. So that is positive, and we'll probably have some more news about that in the upcoming months. Probably still a little way from being finished, but yeah.
But shit's building up here with Older out there earning, Immy the vegan out there earning, Glimpses will be out there soon enough earning. No Caller ID is on YouTube. If you watch No Caller ID, that's earning on our Pigville YouTube channel, but we're also earning on the Screamfest LA YouTube channel with No Caller ID. So it's good. These disparate income streams.
Yeah,
that's the trick. Build up.
Well, we've just found out that Imi the Vegan is now being streamed on Tubi TV. Well, it's actually just Tubi now. You can't call it Tubi TV, apparently.
Right.
Never say TV at the end of Tubi.
Right.
But it's just Tubi. And so Tubi, it's just been put on Tubi. So if you don't have Amazon Prime, which is where you could watch it before, you can now watch it for free on Tubi.
Yep.
So
that's TUBI.
Yep. And just type in
tubi.com and search for Imi the Vegan.
IMMI.
Yep.
Imi the Vegan.
Yep.
So yes. And thank you, Dottie Pie. She's just subscribed to the Savage Filmmaker, so I appreciate that.
And by watching that on Tubi, we get paid through the ad revenue. It's like YouTube. So don't feel bad for watching it for free. But if you are going to watch it for free somewhere, don't pirate it. Watch it on Tubi. That's the way to do it.
No reason not to.
No reason not to. It's the end of piracy. It's like how Spotify ended music piracy, pretty much.
It's true. It's what it did.
Well, it did for me because I was like,
well, no, it did. I guess the issue was just, in the same.
They're just pirates.
Well,
they're privateers.
Yeah.
Instead of pirates.
In the sense that they're paying, point something of a cent per stream in the same way that we get paid 1 cent per stream. But we get more than that from Tubi, so you can check it out on Tubi TV.
Yeah. So please do that. And we'll also share that in the links in the description as well. The links to all the places you can watch Imi the Vegan. So yeah.
Well, speaking of Imi the Vegan, I guess we should mention Older. So Older has just had its most recent report from our distributor, and we are very pleased to discover that it has actually made some money. So it is now generating revenue for us. We're still a long way from sort of I guess what you would say
covering the expense of
breaking
making
even. Yep. We're still a long way off from that, but it's still really good because sort of what we've very roughly calculated is that it's probably been streamed by between 250 and 500,000 people worldwide. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. That's not counting the pirates, because it is also...
And that's not counting the pirates.
It's not counting the pirates. Because someone messaged me the other day.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember if the funny thing is, actually, I think they were talking about Imi the Vegan, not Older.
Right.
And they said that they watched Imi the Vegan on a pirate site.
Really?
Yeah.
And were you are you serious?
I was like, why are you telling me that, dickhead?
I'm gonna do a quick search now.
Okay.
We're gonna get some intel on this.
It wasn't Pirate Bay, but
I know.
but
I just thought I'd just check this one because
that's the one where it would be most likely.
Are you serious?
It's there. It's there. Look at that. What's that like? 8 or 10 different pirate seeders.
Seeders be seeding, y'all.
Seeders be seeding with Imi the Vegan. Yeah, well, look, I just wish there was a way that they could tell us how many people
Hindi dub
watched it. Somebody dubbed it in Hindi?
No.
Imagine that. Imagine if somebody has overdubbed it in Hindi.
Well, look, it's promoting a very good thing.
It is.
Veganism.
Yeah.
It's healthy.
Yeah.
So we have confirmed that
Flixtor was the website that he said he found it on.
Right.
Flixtor.
Yeah. Look, and that's the thing. We're looking on Pirate Bay is old news. Pirate Bay is really going the way of the dodo.
Yeah. Porn. Looked up Older, and all you found was porn. Lots of porn. Her older sister seduces me with big tits and cream pie.
That's weird because I did find it on here.
Yeah. Once you had worked your way through all that porn.
Once I got through all the porn, after watching some of the porn, I did discover it.
Older women. Cream pie, older sister.
Well, that's great. That's good for us, though.
Yeah.
Because essentially it means that if someone does want to torrent, and that's what I'm saying, is torrenting is sort of old hat now. But if someone was like, yeah, I'm going to torrent it, I'm going to do it, and then they look it up on Pirate Bay,
Yeah.
they'll just have to download heaps of porn instead.
Mm.
Haha, suckers, take that.
Why? Do you want to download that Hindi one or not really?
Yeah, I do, but it doesn't have any.
Because you could download it
and
and
just
we could
test.
see what if it's because
We should really do that.
Dotty Pie on the live stream says that we should play a little bit of it
We
sometime
should.
on the live stream another time.
I don't want to start downloading it now in case it slows up our stream.
Yeah.
But we should definitely do it to see if it what's happened there, because that is pretty fascinating. With a beautiful older sister's big ass,
Yeah, we're getting distracted now.
you can be slut.
We're gonna start jerking off live on the podcast.
So nipple needing cohabitation life with older girlfriend.
Who blam?
So that's what happens if you look up older on
Pirate
Pirate Bay.
Bay. Yeah.
So that's all right.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about
But
that.
I think it's quite a kind of good news that Emmy the Vegan is showing up on these pirate sites because it's obviously there is some interest.
There's
in
demand
it.
out
There's
there.
demand out there. There's interest.
See, this is the thing, and this is what we sort of don't really know, is when we only receive reports quarterly. So, 1 quarter of the year we get a report, and if the film has only been out for part of that quarter, we sort of know even less about how it's doing. So we've only just got our first full quarter, reporting on older. But we haven't even received 1 quarter yet for Emmy the Vegan, because Emmy the Vegan, I think, was maybe January or February that we got it up online. Maybe February, actually. So we're still waiting to know, but look, at least, you say if people are pirating your stuff, you've made it.
Is that what they say?
Well, there was an element. I remember when I went on a big rant on Facebook about this. So, there was that one time that Zombie Holocaust was up on YouTube and it had over 300,000 things. But it was also had been streamed like hundreds of thousands of times.
Yeah.
This is when torrenting was more popular back in 2015. So it was there was a lot of watching it.
No, I remember it was like 800,000 times on Pirate Bay alone on like one seed that I looked at.
Yeah,
or one, so I was like, definitely millions of people watched it illegally and continue to do so.
And you can, I've just searched it just to see what's going on. It's gone down. The popularity has gone down. Well, apparently we've got, in fact, it's gone way down because not a single person is leeching it right now.
Shit.
So we're really, but there's definitely a lot of options to, should people, but don't do it that way. Obviously, you can watch it on Amazon.
You can watch it. Yeah, go watch it for free on Amazon, maybe even on Tubi. I'm not sure, but definitely go check it out. I survived a zombie holocaust because it's still good for us, even though we don't get paid a single fucking.
Even though
even
though other people are
Making
entirely
money.
making money off that.
Yeah.
We'll give it a search on Tubi.
I survived a zombie apocalypse is there. No Holocaust. No? Okay.
Not on Tubi.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Good for us.
That's good for us because we'll get it up there when we get the rights back.
In 10 years. So also just a quick television review.
Okay.
I haven't really been watching very much, but I have been watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel.
Got it.
Follow up to that one, WandaVision. So this is the thing, right? You hate Marvel movies.
Yep.
I'm sick of Marvel movies, but do enjoy them because I love the comics. But wish that there were other genres of films being released. I don't like this sort of the monopoly that they've taken on the whole market of big movies. And I enjoyed WandaVision. I thought that was pretty good. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier for me is their first real turd in a good long while. Maybe since Iron Man 2 or something. But this is like a real pile of duty. The whole idea is, you take these spin-off characters and you make something of them. And they did that successfully with WandaVision. And they kind of put this in an interesting frame and they had an interesting story to tell. Whereas this one, half the story, and this is a spoiler alert, right?
Spoiler alert, in case if you're going to watch a shitty Marvel film.
But half the story is about Falcon's sister, who owns a boat, right? That she can't afford to get repaired, and she's gonna go. The family business has been compromised. This fishing boat, right? And it's like, fuck off. For starters, you're fucking rich. You don't tell me that you haven't served the government in all these fucking wars and not been paid out a shit ton of compensation that you could just go, cool, sweet, well, here's a couple $100K to fix up the boat.
Well, mate, you're going to be really upset when you hear about how they're treating the veterans.
Well,
you're going to be real upset about when you find out how the American government is treating the veterans.
I'm sorry, mate, but there's a huge difference.
Yeah?
Yeah. Veterans aren't superheroes.
It's true, no.
They're just regular, everyday people doing heroic acts of valor, which is way less important.
They fought wars without superheroes.
They were brave enough to go into the battle without superpowers and do their duty for their country. That is way less important than people with superpowers that can't actually get hurt when they go into battle.
Yeah.
So anyway, Falcon, who is actually just a regular person who has a fucking flying suit, right? He's just got wings, right? His special power is metal wings.
Yeah.
Whipped his shit. Okay? But anyway, he's got this boat that he needs to fix. That's half the story. That's the story. That's half the story that obviously you don't give a flying fuck about. Then you've got Winter.
So he's not even a superhero anyway.
No, he's just got wings.
So it's even more relevant to the homeless analogy then. The homeless veteran analogy.
Yeah, I know, but Marvel you get beat your ass that he got a good payout for fighting in that war.
Yeah?
Well, fuck, I don't know. I mean, we're really diving deep into the politics
most soldiers don't get paid that well to fight in a war.
It's true.
And you don't really get that much out of it.
But he's got celebrity endorsements and shit.
Yeah. If he was a big celebrity one.
He is. People want to take photos of him and that.
Yeah. So probably he would be okay.
Just think about his YouTube channel blowing up.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. He'd be getting millions from his YouTube alone.
So anyway.
If he's smart.
Exactly. So half the shit about this boat, which is like dumb because you know that he could fucking get a loan from the government. He could sell one of his wings. Right? Whatever.
Fucking eBay.
Fucking eBay a wing. eBay a bit of a wing and go for a ridiculous. Hey, this was the thing that fought in the Avengers War, guys. You want to buy that? Fuck it, it's going to go for it. Anyway, so there's this stupid fishing boat. Then on the other hand, you've got Winter Soldier, right? Now, Captain America Winter Soldier is actually one of my favorite Marvel movies. And it's basically about Captain America versus this Winter Soldier. And he's a dude with his fucking metal arm. And he's fucking like as strong as Captain America. And you're like, cool. And he's got a metal arm and he's been conditioned in the Cold War. And he's, he was a good guy, but he's turned bad and he's been brainwashed. There's a lot going on there. Now he's a good guy. And he seems to have gone from being able to beat up Captain America to not being able to beat up anyone. So, this is what I hate with these varying degrees of superpower. Oh, he's got super strength, he's got super everything. He's got a metal arm that's made of unobtainium or some bullshit. That can't be, now someone just presses a button and his arm falls off.
Yeah.
Well, which is it? Is his arm do everything? Is it indestructible? Or do we all just poke him in the armpit and it falls off? What the fuck? And anyway, so he's turned into this total weak sauce piece of shit, like, obviously dwelling on all the people he killed. I've got no problems with dwelling on the people he killed, but I do have a problem with the fact that they made him so puny just so they could have these fights exist. You know what I mean? So you can have, like, here's an action sequence, but he can't just come in and fuck everyone up, so we make him shit now. And I really have a big beef with that because he was going toe-to-toe with Captain America. He was a beast. And now, anyway, they made him shit. And also, it's just a very boring story that could have been told, like, it's one of those things. It could have made a movie, like a 2-hour movie. You'd probably be like, this is pretty interesting. But they've stretched it over these 6 episodes. They've added in this fisherman boat story. It's just a total fucking disaster. It's an absolute turd of a TV series. And I highly recommend you don't watch it. Okay. I'm stuck now. I have to watch the last episode.
Well, I'll make a point of not watching that. Yeah, I can assure you.
Yeah, I'm committed now.
Yeah. I have a couple of movie reviews.
Okay. Better not be any World War II related bullshit.
So the first one is called Killing Hydrich.
Oh, no.
And it's, of course, about...
there it is.
Henrik Hydrich or something like that. I can't remember his first name. Henrik, I think. Henrik Hydrich. And he's the one of the orchestrators of the Holocaust. And it's about... in World War II, he was the only super high-ranking Nazi to be assassinated. So, people tried to kill Hitler and stuff like that.
They tried to blow him up.
Several times. But
wasn't one of them they would have been successful, but they put the bomb in the wrong place?
So they put the bomb... So in that case, that's they put the bomb just on the wrong side of a table.
Right.
No. They put it on the right side of the table, but one of the other officers moved it to the wrong side of the table, so it was all heavy. Like there was this heavy wood in between, the bomb and Hitler, and so it did still kill some people, but not Hitler. But not Hitler, though it did injure him. That was Valkyrie, Operation Valkyrie, starring Tom Cruise.
Check that out.
Yeah, that was. I actually rewatched a little bit of that recently. It's good.
Not bad.
It's a good movie.
Not bad.
So Hydrich, he was meant to. They assassinated him in World War II, and he was one of the only really high-ranking Nazis that actually was successfully assassinated. And so it was just kind of this movie about him and about how that happened. And it was actually really good. It was a pretty good film. It was quite nice because it sort of showed him as he was, which was this. Or as he was known, which was as sort of a nice family man, but then it also showed him as, this horrible monster that didn't mind just murdering people for no good reason, and so it sort of showed the juxtaposition between his private life and his work life and so on. So that was good. And then I also watched another World War II film, Unbroken. Now, Unbroken, it was a bit of a turd. It's Angelina Jolie's directorial debut. Boy, yeah, it was a turd. It was about like 40 minutes too long. It's about a guy, a prisoner of war, a pilot prisoner of war, American, who gets captured by the Japanese and has to live, under shitty conditions with, a bunch of other people, and it's kind of about him surviving it because he was an Olympic athlete at the Olympics at the Berlin Olympics just before World War II, and so he's got like a strong mental fortitude, for training and all that type of thing, and it's kind of about him surviving the harrowing existence of being in a Japanese POW camp, and how he made it through type thing. But it was just all slow and melodramatic and just kind of shitty.
Unbroken.
So, yeah, Unbroken. But I mean, I think it won some awards. I think people liked it. But I was like, this is a bit of a turd. So Killing Hydrich. Go watch that one. Unbroken, probably skip that one.
Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier, whatever the fuck, definitely skip that one.
All right, so we've got a question here from Dottie, and then we're going to get out of here.
Yeah, it's good call.
So, but we've got to see this question from Dottie. You got to click on it.
Okay.
Yep. So, she had to take her dog out to go pee, so she missed a bit of all of those reviews.
Sorry, you missed those very vitally important reviews.
And also referring to Unbroken, yeah, the guy was lost at sea for like 37 days or 48 days or something ridiculous as well. And there was boat continuity. The boat continuity was all out of whack because it's got these 3 survivors in 2 lifeboats that are like strapped together, and then they lose a lifeboat in the storm, and they're all on the same lifeboat, and then suddenly the second lifeboat's back. And I was like, Angelina, sort out the continuity. I mean, is there 1 boat or is there 2 boats? Because this is not that difficult to figure out. But there was obviously some issues there.
Yeah, actually, I do vaguely remember that coming out.
Yeah, I think she's done she has done a new film now. Do you know about this? It might be something to do with war as well. Maybe it was can't remember, but she's got a new film out now or coming out now. But yes, anyway, on that note, on Unbroken, which broke my spirit and made me not want to watch Angelina's second film. We will get the hell out of here, but thank you very much for listening. The Savage Filmmaker, go check him out on YouTube and hit subscribe. Make sure you hit subscribe on Facebook, on YouTube to the Guy and Harley podcast page as well. Just search for the Guy and Harley podcast. We need to get we've got our 1,000 subscribers. We need to get our view time up. So thank you very much, Dottie, for watching. That really helps us.
Appreciate that.
Patreon.com/Pigville. If you want to give us $1 a month to keep creating content, that would really, really help us, and we would love that. You can also be the sponsor of the next episode. You can buy the beers for the next episode by going to paypal.com and using the email address pigvilleproductions@gmail.com. If you use the email address pigvilleproductions@gmail.com, you can make a deposit on PayPal and say it's for beers, or for in the case of Jason P. Diddy Combs, he bought us some Tennessee whiskey honey bourbon. So anything you want, really. You just tell us what to buy and we'll buy it. But you got to go put the money in. pigvilleproductions@gmail.com. And then olderfilm.com. That's a big one. If you can go to olderfilm.com and watch Older, that would really help us. There's a whole bunch of places to watch it there. And also, Emmy the Vegan is now on Tubi. So go TUBI. If you want to watch Emmy the Vegan for free, just go to tubi.com, tubi.com, and you can watch Emmy the Vegan there. And that really helps us too, because that will all count towards our incomes.
And also, to be perfectly honest, what really helps us is writing reviews on Amazon and IMDb for either Older or Emmy the Vegan, if you haven't done so already, because that's how we climb up the algorithm. And that's what you need to maintain a revenue stream from those platforms. So the more reviews, the likes, ratings we get, if you got a mate, just go, hey, can you just chuck a little review? Just write something on this. Hey, let me just bring it up for you. There you go. Hey, Amazon Prime, just do a little write on this one. Thank you very much. Because actually, that's in this new digital age, we're not even asking you to buy our DVD or whatever anymore, although you can buy it if you get in contact with us. We're asking you to review it once you've watched it for free.
Times are changing, eh?
This is where we're at.
If you had gone back in time and told people, you go...
If you told me that,
you that, you go back to you when you're first starting out, or 10 years ago, you go, hey, man,
less than 10 years ago.
People are not even going to pay for your movie. They're going to watch it for free, and you're going to beg them for a review, and that's going to be their payment.
And that's going to be your big win if they review that.
Give you a review.
Like, they'll 100% watch it for free. So give up on the concept of them ever paying for it. But if they maybe review it, you'll be really succeeding.
Yeah.
I'd go, fuck off, mate. You're crazy.
Yeah. Also, it's going to take 7 years to make.
I'd go, fuck off, mate. You're dreaming.
Crazy. Older's not going to take 7 years to make. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
Fuck, you're having a laugh.
Yeah.
I'm almost finished.
Yeah. I did hear that quite a bit.
I'm almost done. Oh, no, it will definitely be this year.
Yeah.
I definitely said, no, it will definitely be this year for at least 5 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely made that statement. No, I think it'll definitely be this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for watching. Thanks, Dottie Pie. Thanks for all you Sifty 160 listeners tuning in at home. And we'll catch you next week.
See you later.